Since close to 60 years, the Société du Canal de Provence, or SCP, designs, builds and operates hydraulic facilities through a concession agreement with the Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur region. Besides the water services provided in the region for all users, the SCP proposes its expertise in France and exports it abroad. In Provence, the SCP takes the water from the Verdun River to deliver raw water to 2 million inhabitants, 1,700 enterprises, 165 cities and towns, 6,000 farms, and 2,000 hydrants and firefighting posts. The BIMONT Dam, fed with water from the Verdun River, ensures the water supply, notably 1/3 of the cities of Aix-en-Provence and Marseille, and of the industrial and agricultural activities of the region. Due to the large capacity of the works, the dam also allows to mitigate the impact of flood events. The dam also features 2 hydroelectric micropower stations. If needed, the upstream turbine can be operated in the pumping mode to recharge the upstream network. The construction of the dam lasted 5 years and was financed within the scope of the Marshall Plan. The first filling occurred in 1952. As from the early 60s, the forming of cracks was observed in certain locations of the dam. Several studies were then undertaken to monitor the works and ensure the safety of populations living downstream. The studies showed that the disorders only appeared around a few concrete blocks of the right bank of the dam and were caused by defects in the cement supplied at a certain period of construction. These cements delivered too hot led to the development of a chemical reaction known as internal sulfatic reaction, which causes an expansion of the concrete and the forming of cracks at the periphery of the swelling zones. The stabilization of the swelling zones observed since the beginning of 2000 enabled the SCP to undertake the rehabilitation of the dam and of its ancillary works, anticipate future needs for water, and comply with the regulatory and contractual objectives. They took place between 2015 and 2019, involving an investment of close to 20 million euros. In order to define and scale the arch renovation project, the teams of the SCP carried out the required preliminary studies and surveys, relying on the expertise of dam specialists Tractebel Engineering, Coin and Bélier Engineering Consultants, the latter being the original designer of the BIMONT Dam. In a first stage, and to ensure continuity of the water service, a bypass duct was installed with the cutting through of a tunnel inside the hill on the right bank of the dam. The emptying of the reservoir started in April 2017 and was completed at the end of 2017. The dam remained empty until the spring of 2019. The arch renovation work was carried out by the company de Mathieu et Barre as leader of a group of companies between September 2017 and May 2019. To ease operations while ensuring the safety of the workers at all stages of the project, a large scaffold was installed, giving access to some 450 work posts on the downstream wall of the dam. The works first consisted in the strengthening of the dam with anchor bars. The cracks could then be injected with a highly fluid cement-based grout. The volumes of cement and injection pressures were carefully and continuously monitored by the contractor. A test was carried out at the beginning of this work to validate all the execution procedures. The movements of the dam were measured on a continuous basis to detect any anomalies. A drainage system was realized with the drilling of boreholes at the downstream foot of the dam. It consists in 45 drains of 150 mm in diameter, drilled from the foot of the arch down to the bedrock in order to release eventual subpressures. The drain water is conveyed to a counter dam by means of a collecting pipe. In order to monitor the new drainage system, a staircase was installed on the left bank of the dam. This monumental steelwork was tailor-made to adapt to the curvatures of the works and installed by acrobat technicians. The foot of the BIMONT Dam is thus entirely accessible. 4 tension anchors made up of 17 steel strands were sealed with cement grout in the vertical boreholes drilled in the right bank abutment of the dam. Once tensioned, the tie rods allow for the adding of complementary vertical forces to comply with present regulatory requirements for the sizing of such works. Lastly, a waterproofing geomembrane system was installed on the dam's right bank upstream face. This geomembrane system consists in the superimposition of a drainage geotextile placed directly on the upstream wall and a waterproof PVC geomembrane. The tailor-made, factory prefabricated strips are installed and heat welded on site. The system is tensioned using metal profiles to obtain a perfectly creaseless surface. The work was completed with a thorough cleaning of the downstream wall. The main valves were replaced to meet the present and future operating needs of the dam. These operations are part of a maintenance program and contribute to ensure their proper long-term functioning. The dam's surveying and auscultation devices were strengthened with the installation of new automatic sensors and of a remote data transmission system. The BIMONT Dam is subject to a daily monitoring performed by a team of operators and specialist engineers. The monitoring is supervised and controlled by the state administration. The BIMONT Dam is thus equipped with several auscultation devices, automatic piezometers, plumb lines, automatic crack meters, and topographic devices which allow to monitor the structural evolution of the dam on a permanent basis. This major project gave rise to an impact study, especially since the dam is located at the heart of the classified site of Montagne Sainte-Victoire. Even though the reported impacts were low, measures were taken to protect sensitive areas and ensure the best possible integration of the new works in the landscape. The 200,000 or so annual visitors can now enjoy again this exceptional site. The dam continues to be operated with a high level of safety, even in case of exceptional climatic events. The supply of water for all uses is ensured for the future in a context of growing demand and climate change.